Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to introduce the PlayStation 4.
For the first time, let me now unveil Xbox.
Our next generation portable is officially named PlayStation Vita.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
Well, the wait is over. This is Nintendo DS.
So today, welcome to the world of Wii U.
Welcome to episode 11 of the 411, folks. I'm back with Jake.
Hey.
We have just seen the new Pokemon trailer, so that's pretty much what we're going to talk about for this episode.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've had an episode. A little break.
Just because I've been moved into a new house now.
You know what I thought about? Pretty much every episode, we've done it in a different spot.
We don't have like a set place to do it in.
No, but we will.
We will. Once we set up Studio 411. That's the name of our new studio, which is in my spare room.
Yeah. It'd be good.
I had one of those moments when I was moving into my new place where I was I got a whole bunch of stuff on my arms ready to pack and move it to my car, and one thing, like a sock, dropped out.
Yeah.
One of those dude where's my car moments. Just leave it.
I don't remember that part.
What? You know how they're cleaning up the house and they have this huge bag and something pops out? And then he's going to pick it up, but he might drop all his stuff. And he's just like, just leave it. Just leave it. And then he's like, no, I'm going to get it.
I don't.
You've got to watch Dude, Where's My Car again, obviously.
Oh, I don't remember that. That must be the least funny part of the movie.
Oh, well, it was pretty funny when it happened.
Okay.
You know, I was just laughing at myself, so that's what I do.
Yeah, but pretty much every episode we've recorded basically in all four bedrooms of my house.
Yeah.
The place you used to live at.
Yeah.
2 bedrooms in
different
there.
bedrooms in there.
Yeah. And then, was that it? I feel like we recorded our first episode somewhere else.
No, that was in just one of the bedrooms down there.
Oh, okay. Either way.
And some episodes we changed bedrooms in the break. And
yeah.
one of those windows where you can look through into the room. And then one of those soundproof doors that clicks in and everything. It's like one of those glass doors, and that's the dream.
Yeah. Do you have the budget for that?
I could have the budget if I worked towards it, but, you know, you won't be able to resell that house when it looks like that.
No.
Unless, someone, wants to do a podcast. Limiting your options there.
Yeah. But, I guess we're here to talk about Pokemon, like usual.
Yeah, like usual. We talk about it a lot, but hey, that trailer, I mean, did you stayed up and watched the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, it came out 10 o'clock Australia time last night.
Yeah.
I actually completely forgot about it until about 10:15. I was busy.
What?
Yeah, I was busy playing DS.
Yeah.
And I just got lost in it, and then I realized, the trailer's out.
Yeah.
So, and then by that time...
What were you playing at the time?
Pokemon.
How could you not be thinking about that?
I don't know. And then by that time, 15 minutes after the trailer had been out, scrolling through Twitter was just the biggest... Like, you'd have to get through 100 tweets before you could...
Oh, really?
It was chaos. It was madness. But I guess really we should talk about trailers then.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the first big reveal of new gameplay.
Yep. We've only been given the names of the games and the logos and just some drawings, some design in the studio design things. And that was our original trailer. This is first gameplay footage. And your initial thoughts, just describe it in 3 words.
Really, really awesome. I don't know.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm really... This really pulled me in way more than Pokemon Y has. Just because from the very start, even though in those first trailer, or whatever you could call it, that first direct that we saw, it seemed to be a brand new setting. Really early on, you could tell. Of course, a brand new setting, but a brand new, less city-like setting.
Mm-hmm.
And then this pretty much proves it. We're in Hawaii. The region's called Alola.
Alola, yes.
Um,
It's quite, it's definitely Hawaii.
yeah, and that makes me a whole lot more interested because the setting seems really, really varied, and they haven't really
Because
done
Hawaii
something
has a
like
lot
this.
of city stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is city and lots of tropical stuff. Lots of those kind of. It seems that as though the trailer switches from this city area, and the city area looks very beachy as well. So it's not really just mainland inland city like when in the X and Y games. This is sort of like a beachy city area, and when you get sort of into the tropical areas, it's looks very I don't know, almost secret, like huts and everything, and very inland tropical area where the natives live, kind of thing, you know.
So they're taking a real stereotypical approach then.
Yeah, I mean, well, we just saw the Japanese trailer as well, which that's something I would have never even thought to look at because I didn't think it was sort of different, but it was just a completely different trailer.
Yeah.
It was all live action, and it's obviously about this Japanese kid who moves from Japan to come and live in this city, which, I mean, it looks like Hawaii. I mean, all the people sort of who lived there was kind of sort of dark skin. I don't know if people like that's what they look like in Hawaii.
No,
I don't know, but we'll just assume it's Hawaii. So it's about a Japanese kid who moves there. He doesn't speak a word of English. He's very nervous. He goes to school. He doesn't have any friends. But then he sees that a Pokemon game comes out, and then he goes, Pokemon, Japan. And then he goes and buys Pokemon, and then he gets friends because they all like Pokemon, which is, you know, probably very unrealistic in real life. So it might happen in Japan, but you know, I don't think you'd walk down the street in Hawaii and see a bunch of kids sitting on a table without parents there playing Pokemon.
That's well, you break it down to its core there, Scott.
Pretty much. I mean, you know, when does that happen in the real world?
They've
They've all got their 3DS XLs as well. Some kids laying on the table, like there's probably bird shit all over that table as well.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
You just broke reality there for a bit.
they're trying to bring tears to the eyes in that trailer, whereas the English version of the trailer just literally just gives us some gameplay. We got a lot more gameplay than the Japanese trailer.
Look, I'll say one thing about the Japanese trailer is that I definitely think you should watch both versions. They're only about 2.5 minutes each. And one thing is that, like we were saying, it's pretty much like 80% live action footage
Yeah.
of this story they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
And I guess one thing that they're trying to do, we talked about this a few episodes ago, was that the possibility of a live action Pokemon movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pokemon Company keeps making these trailers of live action things with Pokemon Go, and even the Japanese, even that Direct had a lot of moments of live action. So it's kind of giving me a bit of hope as well to the possibility of a live action movie, because I remember saying in that episode saying I was really hesitant, or I wasn't really too keen on the idea. But this footage they're putting out now, even though it's 2 to 3 minutes each time, it's kind of solidifying the idea for me a little bit that they could do it right. So it sounds pretty cool.
We also talked about the possibility of whether it would be a all-on Asian cast or just American cast. And, I mean, by the looks of that trailer, I think it would be quite interesting if it was a mixed cast of both Asian and American actors. Just because, you know, you could have that story of a young Japanese boy who moves to this new region where no one speaks his language, and then they get along with Pokemon, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
In Japan, Pokemon is huge. It's like it's bigger than anywhere else. So to have Asian actors in the movie would, you know, obviously
they can't not have.
yeah, they've got to have sort of it's where it's from. You know.
Yeah, Pokemon's pretty much more recently as well been a lot about diversity. You know, there's always strong representations of women and darker skinned characters as well. Even in the trailers we see today, it seems character customization is coming back even more so, and you get the option between how dark and light your skin can be between a male and a female. So that's always something they're good and they're striving for.
In the anime, they had the first black character.
Yeah.
In Black and White series. So, yeah.
Black and white.
Well, I guess there's Brock, but I mean, what is he? I don't know what Brock is. You know, he's just a bit of everything. He's got the Asian eyes, and he's got the dark skin. He's just if there was a real life actor of Brock, he'd be a very ugly man.
Sorry, that was my computer just then.
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn that off. Anyway,
We better sort it out when we move into Studio 411 because it's all professionalism over there.
Yeah, we'll be using your computer, so
True.
no distractions on that
Good.
one. But that just threw my train of thought off for a bit.
Well, we were talking about black people.
Okay, to put it back to Pokemon then. No, it's got me really excited. And do you think before we got the direct, maybe 2 months ago now, a month and a half or so?
Yeah.
Do you think this is the footage we should have got first before that? Do you think that first thing was a bit pointless?
No, it built up enough excitement. That's all we needed, just an announcement of them making the new games, because everybody was still waiting for Pokemon Z, and that just sort of cleared everything. So as long as we knew what was coming, we just had to wait a bit longer for this. I mean, if it wasn't Nintendo who was doing this, we'd probably have to wait for E3 to hear anything.
That's true.
But, now that it's Nintendo, so we've already got a trailer, we know what the game's called and everything, so we know what to expect.
And a release date of November 18, I think it said.
November 18.
So not long at all.
Worldwide, isn't it?
I think that's, except for Europe. I think Europe gets it like 4 or 5 days later. I remember reading
Wasn't
that.
X and Y released worldwide at the same day?
Really?
I'm pretty sure that was the first Pokemon game that they released worldwide on the same day.
Yeah. I definitely remember reading on Twitter, because that website, Cerebi.net,
Yeah.
the guy who makes that, I follow him on Twitter, he's from the UK, in Europe,
Alright.
and he was complaining that he gets it a little later than everyone else, basically.
Yeah.
Which I find a bit strange. Nintendo has always been known to do that. So I'm not too sure why. Either way, November 18 for us in Australia isn't far away at all.
No, not really.
No, it's...
Especially with all the games we've got to play that are coming.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest, and we're going to have a backlog by then.
No, but when it comes to Pokemon, you just have to make time for it.
Yeah.
It's
Especially that'll be holiday time,
Yeah, this will be a big deal.
So that's my holidays there, Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Which game are you getting?
Well, I'm leaning towards Sun.
Yeah.
Now that we see the legendaries, in the past, I've always been leaning towards more the redder, because it's usually red or blue colors.
So they've pretty much stuck this to the same red or blue from the start.
Yeah. And I've usually lent towards the more red. I've a Ruby and Pokemon Y.
Do you
Diamond.
feel that it's the more masculine choice to pick the red over the blue?
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Just they always pick. Well, not masculine. I guess. What am I trying to say? Like the better version. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying the masculine version is the better version. I'm just trying to say. They always say, because like Sun is said first and Moon is said second, and it always seems that the red version of the game has the better legendary as well. I think.
I always think that too, but I wouldn't necessarily put that down to masculinity.
Oh well, forget what I said. I was just trying to get words out.
You're
It's not
really
masculine.
you're shooting a lot of
I'm on a roll here.
yeah black people.
Hey, I'm part nothing. I'm just white.
Yeah. So really, for me, at the moment, it comes down to what the legendaries look like, and thankfully, like you were saying, Sun does seem to have the better looking legendary.
Looks like it's a lion.
It's kind of like a bigger version of a what do you call it? An Arcanine?
Yeah.
Crossed with an
Or
Entei.
Entei, yeah. And the moon. Come on, Jack.
Maybe
This is not professional.
I'm going to turn this off somehow. Keep talking.
And the Pokemon Moon legendary just looks like a Zubat on steroids.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's actually not. It's not as bad actually. Now that I think about it, it's like a bat, and it opens its wings to go like full circular, like a moon.
Yeah.
And
But I don't know. A bat as a legendary. I mean, a lion as a legendary. There you go. That's all right. But a bat.
yeah,
Why not? I don't know. Some other kind of bird. A Vulcan or I don't know.
they've had a lot of birds.
They
I don't
have,
think
yeah.
they've had a bat before, but a bat does symbolize
Like
night,
as a
moon.
legendary bird.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean, bats make sense for moon, nighttime.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know where a lion comes into the sun. I guess because it's red and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whenever you see pictures of them, it's always during daylight or something, you know.
That's true. Yeah, but I'm definitely leaning towards Pokemon Sun. I think you are. You said you were too.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm kind of leaning towards both. The first time I'll actually get both Pokemon games.
yeah, you always say that. You
I
said you were
know.
going to get Alpha Sapphire and Ruby.
It's not the same. These are like their own generation games, you know.
Mm.
X and Y just weren't that great, to be honest. But I mean, this Sun and Moon have ticked all the boxes so far.
Yeah. Well, in saying that, actually, it's put me in a real Pokemon mood. I've been playing Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon all week, but I went back to Pokemon Y actually today, playing it most of today. And I think you've said this in a previous episode, but that region is not the best region.
Yeah,
I agree with you too.
it's
Because
just boring.
it's boring and it doesn't flow well because I've gone from the towns just before I can't even remember the name of the town, just
It's not-
before the 8th gym, and it goes from all this swampy mountainous ranges and then you just walk through one door and then you're in the snow town.
It's just
That
it's not memorable. Like
No.
you said, you can't even remember the town names.
Yeah.
It's just especially the main city in the middle. It's just so confusing to navigate your way around. And it's just not fun to be in that city. I try to avoid that city, you know. You just don't want to go there. And it's just very finicky. And the gameplay mechanics seem to work very similar in Sun and Moon. So I hope that they don't sort of build a map that has to be finicky like that, you know. But yeah, let's talk about sort of the gameplay mechanics. It seems there was one part of the gameplay section where he was running up this hill, and it seemed a tad like a bit more 3D than usual. Don't you think? Like the way he moves, it doesn't seem like. Okay, in the original games, you move up, down, left, right. In these new versions of the games, you move up, down, left, right, and then the diagonals as well.
Right.
It seems like you get the full motion of movement in this time around.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
And like you're saying with the hill thing, because the hill, he was running up a hill, and then it was as if he was gonna, and he turned like left.
Yeah.
And then you were on this kind of like mountainous range, and you could see over the ocean and
Yeah.
stuff. And it kind of,
It didn't seem like he just turned into a diagonal.
no,
It just seems like he did a full turn, like a full range motion, like we would in a first person.
yeah. I was gonna ask if the camera kind of panned around a bit, or did it stay there?
I'm
while
not
he was-
sure.
No,
No.
because to back that up, it showed a little part when he was in the beachy town kind of thing. And the camera was behind him,
Yeah.
whereas like pretty close behind him as well.
And that's pretty much the same as when they're in that big city in X and Y, isn't it? That's why it became so finicky, because the camera is so close to you.
But I was going to say, like, even though that's a town, that's a city.
Yeah.
It still seems spread out enough.
Because there's, I mean, like we saw from the overview shot, it wasn't like there was a full city to go into. There was some buildings on the side, and on the other side was a beach. So it wasn't,
But I was going to say, as in, I don't think they've had this before. Whereas you're in a town, the camera is kind of as if you're looking into a diorama kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the camera was behind him with buildings to the left and right of him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they've done that before.
No.
So that seems different.
I mean,
enough.
you were playing X and Y all day, so you would know.
Sure, yeah. It's always as if the buildings have to be direct. You always have to turn a left or a right corner to have a building.
I feel like in that main city in the X and Y games, the camera is like that behind you.
No, I can't remember. Yeah.
I feel like it is.
Either way, that even if it was, though, it was probably only for that one part of the game.
Yeah.
And this seems more, like you're saying, it seems like the whole thing's going to be like this, a more 3D approach.
Yeah.
Which seems a good step up. I was kind of looking for maybe not a step up in graphics, but maybe just I don't know. I know with the whole X and Y generation, the graphical enhancement came during that time, but it just doesn't seem like a big step up enough for a new generation
There
of Pokemon.
was absolutely no graphical changes, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's the same engine that they've used from X and Y and Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby.
Mm.
It looks exactly the same.
What I suppose one thing maybe I did notice that, again, maybe because I've been away from Pokemon so long, that when you're interacting with the other characters, the NPCs or whatever, their faces kind of had a bit more motion to them, a bit more animation, in line with the anime, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like you were talking, there was one part, I think it was in the Japanese trailer, you were talking with what seemed to be your rival.
Mm.
He came up and his face animated, and that kind of, I'm not sure if that happens in Y or whatever. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But either way, I was looking for maybe just a little bit of a step up.
Yeah. But
Maybe that's as much as the 3DS can handle, you know? Maybe they've tapped
Well,
out on that.
maybe they should have built it for the new 3DS.
No. No.
Why? We both got one, so
It's not just about us.
it is.
No. Because Pokemon is for all
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Diversity.
Yeah.
They can't be
No.
racist towards the 3DS systems.
Oh, that would be a huge outrage.
Mm.
Because, yeah.
Well, one thing that the trailer kind of did focus on was the reveal of the starters.
Yes.
And I haven't been this excited or this taken away by the starter Pokemon in a long time. No?
I would disagree.
Really?
I haven't liked the starters since Gen 2.
No, Gen 3.
Gen 1 and 2 were great. Gen 3 were okay, and then it just got worse.
No, Gen 4 had some good starters too. Anyway, of course it crushes my rumors of if they would kind of divert away from the grass, fire, water.
Yeah.
So they're just sticking to that formula
Yeah.
again. Again, I kind of wish they would mix that up a little bit.
It's not surprising, though.
No, that's something they can't really touch, I don't think.
No.
Either way, you get some pretty cool starters, I think. Can't remember the names again. You get the grass starter is a grass cross flying, so it's like an owl, and it's pretty cute. It's got this like little bow tie leaf thing.
Rowlot or something?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Something
Maybe we
like
should
that.
look that up.
I'm pretty sure it's Rowlot.
And then the fire type is Litten.
Litten, yes.
Yeah, it's a little fire cat. Looks pretty cool. Like,
So there was a fire dog, which was Litleo.
I don't think that's fire.
Yeah, Litleo.
I'm thinking of what's that? What's that normal Pokemon? It's just like a puppy.
Shinx?
No, not that.
I know what you're talking about.
Lillipup.
Yeah, Lillipup.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that.
No, Litleo is a fire dog. Oh no, he's a little tiger and he grows up to be a lion. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they haven't had a fire dog. So this is a fire kitten, which is Litten because it's lit up with fire. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty simple, but Litten.
I like to see you come up with a better idea.
I don't know.
Yeah. Either way,
Flame cat. Flame cat.
well, I think the last side we're going to talk about is the water one, and I think this they kind of tapped out on ideas on this one because it's basically like a seal, and you know obviously Seal and Dewgong from Gen 1, but this seems like a bit more smaller, a bit cuter, blue, whereas like Seal was white.
Mm-hmm. This has a weird nose as well, like
Yeah.
a carrot nose.
Yeah, so all in all, like
It's like called Pooplup or something. No,
Pooplup.
there was Piplup. This has a similar name. It's like
Yeah, I wish I won't look it up because I'm afraid it'll make some noise through the computer.
yeah.
Either way, just looking on Twitter and whatever and some YouTube videos today, lots of positive feedback on the starters. Everyone seems to be liking them.
We'll look back at this podcast one day and just cringe because we couldn't name the starters when they're like, you know, we'll obviously know them by then.
I don't know, to be honest, like the last generation from Pokemon Y, I know none of the names. None of the names are memorable.
Can you name
to
the
me.
starters?
Chespin, because he's the one I have.
Yeah.
The one that evolves into Greninja,
Froakie.
and I don't know who's left. The fire one. Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I got no idea either.
Yeah, there you go. But it's good because now I have time. Now that they revealed it, I think it's clever because now it gives me time to think about who I get to choose.
Yeah.
Because really, I'm on the fence about who I'm going to choose between all three of them.
Hmm.
Typically, I head for the grass type Pokemon, and it's good because it's a flying type as well. Two birds with one stone kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to make up my mind.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to choose Litten. Just because I never choose fire. I always choose grass and water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going for fire this time.
Fire is typically the everyone says it's the easier Pokemon to choose. Typically at the start of the game as well.
Mm.
I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
Mm.
Other than the 3 starters and we saw the 2 legendaries in those trailers, that's it for new Pokemon.
Yep.
So we've seen a total of 5 new Pokemon.
Yep.
Looking at some analysis videos today, the only other Pokemon we see in the trailer is a Meowth. So, and then they resulted that, remember in Pokemon Y, before you, there's no other Pokemon other than that generation.
Mm.
You know? So you can't get Gen 1 Pokemon in Pokemon Y until you beat the Elite Four.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, obviously, you see a Meowth,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to cross over.
I never saw the Meowth.
Oh, it's a real, quick screen grab
okay.
they got.
Right.
It's not in there for long, but you know how people
Yeah.
digest these things,
Yeah.
Break them apart. But, so that's good. They're going to cross over generations, finally. Go back to that again, which would be really good. And hopefully, we said this a few weeks ago again, they break the typical thing of, each grass pass you go into between routes, it doesn't get the same Pokemon over and over and over again. Hopefully with the cross of generations of the Pokemon, there's enough variety that you get to choose from that breaks it up.
Well, I mean, if this game adds, 80 more Pokemon, that's 800 Pokemon that you've got to choose from. So, I mean, you've got variety there. I mean, I remember X and Y, there is a lot of variety when you're going through the grass.
There is, yeah.
But yeah, it's just the other games, they haven't tended to do that. X and Y was sort of the first one where it's just a lot to catch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't understand why there were a lot of rumors that this is just sort of an extension game to X and Y. There are a lot of people saying, "Oh, you're going to go back to Kalos, and there's really not going to be any new Pokemon. There's just going to be sort of just Kalos Pokemon. This is just sort of an extension game. This is Pokemon Z." And
Were they saying that when Sun and Moon had been revealed? Or
Yeah.
really?
yeah, for a while they were anyway.
So people weren't convinced that this was a new generation.
No,
Why is that? Is that because
there are a lot of rumors like that.
they didn't get their 3rd installment of Gen?
Yeah.
That's so.
Because we've never not had a 3rd installment.
Yeah, I think the quicker they did it good, the quicker they buried that last generation,
Yeah.
the better.
I mean, generations are getting slower, and getting quicker and quicker as the years go on, because even the anime is getting shorter. Shorter is what I mean. So usually the anime, they had 4 seasons spent in one generation. Starting from Black and White, they've now shortened it to 3 seasons in each generation.
Do you know why that is?
Well, I think it's in line with when the games come out as well. So they're not spending as much time in one generation anymore. Even the movies, they used to do a movie every year, so there used to be 4 movies for each generation. Now there are only 3 movies for each generation because they only spend 3 years on the one generation now. So and that might get shorter and shorter as well. And it might also be because Kalos region, they only introduced 60-something Pokemon as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't much to spend on. So
Yeah.
how many new Pokemon do you think there'll be in this one?
It's hard to say. They can really experiment now with the new setting, I guess.
Mm.
Pokemon Y didn't have enough. The region didn't inspire enough difference in the Pokemon to match its setting. So I guess now with this more islandy, tropical feel, that could create some more diversity and more opportunities for some new exciting Pokemon. So maybe there'll be some more. I don't know. It's hard to say, really. One thing too to talk about is again going back to the region. They did kind of a bird's eye view of the layout of one of the islands.
Yeah.
I say one of the islands because it seems like the islands is pretty small, and it could only maybe encompass 2 to 3 routes in a city.
Yeah.
And it's got some little islands hanging around that you could surf to, but that also indicates that, again, because it's Hawaii, it'd have a branching path of islands to go across, and that seems really cool.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite, I suppose, of the anime and of the Gen 1, or they do of Leaf Green, is the Orange Islands. How they go from island to island, and each one is kind of different in its own way, and I don't know, it seems really cool that they'll break it up like that.
Yeah.
Again, each island could have its own feel, like a better flow between them, other than just one big region that you just walk from. So that seems pretty
It's
exciting.
similar to Gen 3 in a way, because that had a lot of water as well.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling to different, well, not sort of islands, but I mean, in the anime especially, it seems like they were in the water a lot. And Orange Islands, which wasn't canon because it wasn't anything to do with the games. Well, I guess anime is canon, isn't it?
Well, no, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Orange Islands was sort of like a filler until they got something new with the games from the Pokemon Company. But I mean, yeah, this could definitely be like the Orange Islands in a way, traveling with your Pokemon along the water, which would mean you'd probably get surf pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think that they're gonna stick with these HMs?
No.
I hate HMs.
Yeah.
You almost have to have just one Pokemon, just use all your HMs on the Pokemon, and just it's really annoying.
One of the biggest criticisms of Omega Ruby, because it was so old, and as the Pokemon games have been getting on, they've been
less.
Yeah. I mean, they still have the HMs, but you have been having to rely on them less. But because Gen 3 is so old, and you pretty much had to keep one Pokemon spare in your party just to fill all their moves with HMs. It's ridiculous. So hopefully they learn their lesson and obviously not get rid of it because they'll upset the Pokemon formula.
Yeah.
But just rely less on it. Obviously you need Surf.
But it's just an old gameplay mechanic that came out in the original Pokemon game. You need some Pokemon moves to get through some places. How can that not evolve by now? Like, look at Pokemon Tournament. You actually get to control these Pokemon and do their moves. Can't you do something similar? Like, I don't know. Why does it have to be cut that cuts a tree? There are plenty of other moves that can get rid of a tree. Can't you just choose a random Pokemon and use a move that would be able to get rid of a tree? Flamethrower. That could burn down a tree. Anything can get rid of a tree, you know?
That's good thinking.
Why does it have to be... I mean, obviously Surf to get over water, but what are some other ones that they could change?
I mean, Rock Smash and Strength are pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean...
You could turn them, like, any fighting move.
Any fighting move can move a rock, you know?
Yeah. It's funny how you say that, and then Pokemon is one of the few games that evolves. Graphically, sure, but I mean... Like you're saying, these old gameplay mechanics that have just been stuck in the 90s. That people just accept because, it's Pokemon. But if it were any other game, people would be sick of them by now. And I'm sick of them.
I'm sick of them too, yeah.
Yeah.
They need a change.
I wonder if hypothetically, if this game came out and if they abolished the whole three starters of the fire, grass and water, and they got rid of all the HMs, and they got rid of the 8 gym structure and whatever. They changed it all up. Would there be outcry? Would fans embrace it? You know, are they afraid of that?
I have no idea.
No. If they could just do that like slowly, and there's been signs of it, like we've been saying, the HMs have been used less regularly.
Yeah.
If they can do it slowly, then I guess that's a positive.
Well, the next big step, I mean, there won't be too many changes with Sun and Moon. We sort of know what to expect. What to expect because it looks like it's the same engine. It's going to be on the same system. It's on the 3DS. The next big change for Pokemon will be the next game because it will be on the new console.
Yeah. You think so?
Well, another Pokemon game won't be on the 3DS.
Sure.
We know NX is coming out next year. Yeah. So, I mean,
Diamond and Pearl should be up next for remakes.
Yeah.
Whether they get put on the 3DS, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Was Pokemon Y the first Pokemon game for the 3DS?
Yeah. Black and White 2 came out for the DS when 3DS was already out.
That's right. I didn't even... No, you're right.
So that may be... Diamond and Pearl may come out on the 3DS even though the new console might be out already.
I hope not.
You don't want it on the 3DS?
If they're going to use the exact same engine,
Yeah.
I don't want that.
3 games is enough for this engine.
Yeah.
I want something new now. Well, I mean, we're getting Sun and Moon. It's great. But we want another major upgrade, just like X and Y was a major upgrade.
Yeah, and you could even see the improvements between Diamond and Pearl to Black and White.
Yeah.
I saw big improvements from that.
But do you see big improvements from X and Y to Sun and Moon?
No.
Not graphically, no. From an outsider's perspective, no.
Even they go through some menus and some stuff with items, and it all just kind of, it's laid out the same. And
a few more options with the avatar.
Yeah, that's
well,
it.
The character choice, you got, I think, 4 options out of a boy's face and 4 options out of a girl's face that we saw in the Japanese trailer.
Yeah.
Whether that extends into different hairstyles and different skin tones and all that, we don't know, but it just looks like there are 8 different faces you can choose from.
Again, that's another thing, like, very slowly they're getting used to character customization because, you don't want to break the Pokemon formula.
Yeah.
Whereas the customization in Pokemon Y is terrible. You shouldn't even call it customization.
I mean, so if it is only just the 8 choices of faces, that's pretty disappointing. Not even any clothes choice or body choice, whether you want to be fat or skinny or anything.
Yeah.
How tall you want to be. I mean, there should be something more than just 8 different faces to choose from. I mean, we can't really comment because we don't know if there is, but I mean...
I guess maybe, again, it comes down to the engine they're using.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all the 3DS can do.
And it is still supposed to be a really simple RPG for kids to use.
Yeah.
So they don't want to really get too in-depth with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because, it is growing into a huge game. It's not just one of those really simple RPG games because of how many Pokemon there actually are now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's like you said, it's going to surpass the 800 mark.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It probably will. I mean, if they only have 60 Pokemon this time, it probably won't get past 800, but...
I think they'll try and make the milestone.
Yeah.
It seems appropriate.
Mm-hmm. There's not really much else left to say about the game. I mean, there was one part in the trailer as well when we saw some guy introduce himself to the new character and he called him cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Is that his real cousin or did you just say cousin as in...
No, it's probably like a colloquialism.
Cuzzy bro.
Yeah. Hawaii.
Yeah.
So...
Cousin?
Hey, cuz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, that character seems to be... I don't think it would be the professor character because later on in the trailer you see an older man.
But he's there as well. The Cuzzy bro guy.
Yeah,
he's there as well. He just might probably meet you very early on, and he takes you to the professor.
Sure.
I mean that sort of seems how it's going to start.
Do you know the real live action trailer, the Japanese one? That might actually be the story of the game. Actually, a boy comes from another place, probably Japan, comes to this new island, doesn't really know anybody, and it could be the story,
Someone was saying that today in one of the videos I watched. I mean, that's pretty much the story of Gen 3 as well. You're moving in from a different place to a new place, and I mean, sure, it seems like it could be the real thing. Making new friends, and Pokemon has kind of already followed that kind of formula anyway, but
because in other games it's been that you already lived there with your mum and you know your neighbours and everything, you know your town you're in. You've never explored before, but you know your own city. But yeah, this sort of, I reckon that's a big hint as to what the game is actually about.
Yeah. Do you hope when it comes to the actual story, I guess, of the game, like when it comes to team whatever, do you think... I don't know if I've brought this up before, but it's been getting more and more ridiculous as games going on.
Yeah.
They haven't given any hint as to what the story is going to be.
I don't think you should expect anything different.
Mm.
It's just going to be the same old team whatever story, and they've broken something or they've stolen something, got to get it back, and that's pretty much it. That's Pokemon for you.
Now it seems more than ever they're getting more into space and more. I can't even keep up with it anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I wonder how many people are there for the story.
There is sort of a lot of space themes, isn't there? There's a lot of, I mean, especially in Gen 3, there was a lot of astronaut stuff, wasn't there?
Yeah. They had the whole Delta episode,
yeah.
which was ridiculous in itself.
I mean, who knows? You might go to the moon.
Might go to the sun as well.
Might go to the sun. You'll need a fire Pokemon. Instead of surf to surf in the water, you need fire, flamethrower to go in the sun. And, yeah, anything else you want to say about Pokemon Sun and Moon?
No, I'm just really excited for it.
Me too. I'm excited, and we'll probably talk a lot more about it when it comes out, or before it comes out as well, when we see more trailers and everything. So
yeah, what is the kind of I suppose schedule of releasing stuff for Pokemon? Do you think they'll?
I remember last time when it was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they did something similar, like came out with a trailer around this time, and then there was another trailer during E3 as well. So we had 2 trailers, and I'm pretty sure there was something else as well before the game came out. So I expect 2 more things. They really don't usually give anything away. It's usually like 2-minute trailers, but I reckon probably another 2 trailers before the game will come out.
I mean, I like that. I like being Pokemon's really one of the games still around. I'm surprised by everything.
Yeah,
I really like that.
I mean, all you really sort of want is just to see some gameplay, just because you know what to expect from the story. We've seen the graphics and everything now. Now we're just sort of waiting for maybe some new things, like in X and Y they introduced the fairy type. I reckon next trailer they might introduce something that's new in this game. So
yeah, because at the moment they're staying true to the formula, so there's nothing new. Really? Yeah, you're right. Yes, they'll have to put in something new, I suppose. But yeah, no, I'm really excited, and November 18 is when it's coming out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's talk about other news, and this is something not Nintendo related. Call of Duty.
Oh.
Infinite Warfare. What do you think?
You know, I haven't even watched the trailer.
Oh, really? I watched it.
Was it good?
Well, let me try and remember it.
all I know from it, all I know about the trailer is that it's like the 8th most disliked. At the time I read the story, 8th most disliked video on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
So no one likes it. Why?
You know what YouTube's like.
That's ridiculous. Everyone's going to buy it still.
I know, but I guess we can talk about the new Battlefield now, because that's its biggest competition, Battlefield 1, and everyone's...
Oh, I didn't know about that.
No?
No, well, I saw something about Battlefield 1, but I thought they were talking about original Battlefield or something.
Yeah,
it's
a really dumb name, but it's Battlefield 1 because it's set in the First World War.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody's been after.
Mm-hmm. Whereas Call of Duty, I guess they're just...
Set in space.
Pretty much. Oh, is that...
Well,
legit?
in the trailer, you get in a jet and you go into space.
That's it. Like, I think the biggest argument is that...
It's like, we've got Battlefront, we don't need that.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest argument where it's coming from, whereas Battlefield's diversifying itself, whereas Call of Duty is just... It just doesn't get it anymore.
Well, it is sort of diverse. I mean, you've never been into space in Call of Duty. It's
Do we
different.
want that, though?
I suppose everyone was crying out to go back rather than go forward. And
That is true.
Battlefield has gone back.
It's funny that Infinite Warfare, space and whatever, but it's getting bundled with Modern Warfare 1, which is the most down-to-earth warfare game I suppose you could have. So it's funny that they got this juxtaposition going on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're getting the best of both worlds. A Call of Duty game set in the future, a Battlefield game set in the past. You get to play both,
Yeah.
We're the consumers who get both. I mean, what if Battlefield came out with one that went into space? Then you'd be disappointed.
Sure.
because there'd be 2 space games, and then probably a new Battlefront that came out.
There
all
is
set
it.
in space.
Did you read today? Today there's going to be a definite Battlefront 2 that's going to focus on the
There
new
you go.
movies.
See, Call of Duty should have just probably stuck to modern.
Yeah.
So we get Battlefield set in the past, Call of Duty set to modern, Battlefront set in future space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we get all 3, but Call of Duty just... I mean, that's what everyone was talking about anyway. Call of Duty can't go back with all the new gameplay stuff that they've done, especially in their online world.
Sure.
The only way to evolve for them was to go to take it this far.
Yeah. I mean, in the same article that I read, it was the most disliked video. A statement came out from Activision, I think, because they're the publisher of Call of Duty, that he said when Black Ops 2 was revealed, that was also one of the most disliked videos on YouTube at the time, and it turned out to be the biggest game in the franchise ever. So it just goes to show that, hatred and criticism also indicates the sales of the game, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Which, back to Nintendo, could also mean good sales for Metroid Prime thing, Federation Force.
Federation Force, yeah.
Which I'm hoping for. It's Call of Duty though, so it will still be the biggest selling game. It will still power over everything else.
I'm more interested in just getting Modern Warfare remastered, to be honest.
Yeah?
I'd rather that. But you can't get that unless you buy Infinite Warfare, so...
I've seen all these memes, I guess you can call it, on Facebook of that, because they're launching at the same time and in the same bundle. All the servers are going to be packed for the remaster, and no one's going to be on Infinite Warfare.
Oh, yeah. Because, they're pretty much releasing 2 games at once.
Yeah.
And their audience will be split. Well, their audience will be split between a lot of new places. Some of them might go to Battlefield.
Yeah. I don't buy any of these games anyway. First-person shooters, particularly Call of Duty, don't interest me anymore. But if I were to choose one right now, I would definitely go Battlefield.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because it seems the most interesting, and they're just trying new things.
Yeah.
Whereas Call of Duty is just building on the things that already have solid,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the thing that interests me about these games is the solo player campaign. That's what I look at. That's what will convince me to buy one of these games. I don't like the multiplayer aspect of it. If I see that it's got a good single player, then I'll go get it. I was so tempted to get all through the PS3 era. I was so tempted to get all these Battlefield and Call of Duty games that were coming out, but none of the solo player campaigns sort of just interested me.
no, I remember...
The only one I actually got was Modern Warfare 2, and the solo player campaign was actually it was pretty good.
That's pretty good, I remember that one.
But I don't know.
Black Ops 2 wasn't too bad either for the solo missions. I think we had Black Ops 1 as well.
Yeah, I think you did.
That wasn't too bad either. But from that, I mean, Black Ops 2 was the last Call of Duty game I've ever played, so I can't comment on anything else past that. So, and it seems like Call of Duty was stepping up their game as well, because what was the one with Kevin Spacey?
That was Advanced Warfare.
Yeah. So it seems like they're kind of trying to step up that game.
Yeah.
So, either way, I don't know. Be interesting to see how it turns out to be. Both games obviously will make a big appearance at E3.
Yep.
I don't know.
I suppose I'll be sort of looking out for Battlefield 1 then, I guess.
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting to see a campaign set in the First World War again. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be. Why First World War?
The Second World War has been done to death.
It has, yeah.
But
the First World War, I mean, just...
It'll be interesting because...
They got to do it good. I mean, because some of the guns are boring to use, just the single-shot rifles.
Sure,
and
like everything was...
Some of them might have spears.
Yeah, like there was horseback
Horses
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was the time before, I'm guessing before automatic rifles and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all...
Do you reckon they'll have an Anzac Day mission?
Ooh.
On the beach of Turkey?
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool,
Yeah.
They should have something like that, I think.
So, I don't know, just from what I'm remembering from school, I guess that First World War is all about, less about, I suppose, military tactics, and it was just about human stories.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
in they were using like
Just all these kids signing up for the war, you know,
yeah,
and they didn't know what they were getting in for. They just thought it was a good idea.
yeah.
You know, they were of age, so they didn't want to sort of go to work. They just signed up to get a gun.
Yeah, like
They had no idea what was going to happen.
actually, just the podcast I was listening to recently that they're just talking about the First World War, and they were saying that one of these things to confuse the enemy was that I don't know if this was the First World War then. Either way, they were just talking about like pilot jets were flying over, like trying to bomb all these tanks on the ground, but you know what? Never mind.
I don't think that was First World War.
No, I can't even remember the story properly.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah.
Great input to the podcast, Jake.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let's move on to another topic. Have you seen the new Dead Island trailer?
No.
This is the Dead Island Remastered Collection.
Uh-huh.
The trailer came out about a week ago, and it got me so excited. We are definitely playing co-op. I know we've actually talked about playing co-op again, but I'm definitely getting the original Dead Island, and we're going to play co-op.
Cool. All right.
The original game comes out in a collection. I think it's on disc for $40 in America.
Mm.
So what's that? $60 for us.
Sure.
You can only get the games individually by downloading them. So I'm going to download the original Dead Island.
So is that going to be the remastered one, or is it
Yes,
not
the remastered.
Okay.
So
Because I thought it might still just be the backwards compatibility.
no.
Okay. Cool.
And it's obviously half the price, so it comes out as $20. So what, $40 for us,
35.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably.
which is pretty good
Yeah.
for a remastered version. It's not just a port
Mm.
as well. So yeah, we're gonna definitely get it, and we're gonna do it.
Cool. All right.
I'm excited. Any other topics you want to talk about?
Well, I'll go back to that. Like, you've seen the trailer. Does it look like a step up in graphics, or?
I mean, it looks better. It's not like a huge step up.
Yeah, I mean, the game was only what 2009. 10?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not looking for a graphical, but calling it a remaster, something's got to change.
Isn't remaster usually just graphics?
I suppose so.
Like a remake, that's when they redo things. But remaster is usually just graphics.
Okay. No, yeah, you're
So
right.
just graphic. I mean, it looks better. I mean, I haven't played it in quite a while, so maybe I'm just remembering it how it looked when I first played it. So that was when I first played it. Obviously, that was sort of it looked really good.
Mm.
And as the years go by, maybe if I pick it up again, it might not look as good. And the remaster just makes it look how I remember.
Yeah. So I felt the same way about the Twilight Princess HD.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I hadn't played in so long, my memory of it just stayed intact of this great looking game. And then the HD version just reinforced it that it just, in my memory, it looked how I did in HD back then.
Yeah.
Whereas if I were to turn on the old GameCube one on now, it would just look like this blurry mess. Yeah. So yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. So yeah, another topic we can talk about is, well, one that I wrote down which you weren't really too happy about was what's so good, you know what I'm saying, about Zelda.
What isn't so good?
Well,
why? Why?
Zelda has this hardcore fan base, and it's not one of those little hardcore fan base. It's a huge hardcore fan base. And when Zelda games come out, they're just usually always the same thing over and over. It's like this Pokemon thing again as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what's so good about it. I've never really got into a Zelda game, and I'm confused. Can you educate me? What's so good about it? You're a huge Zelda fan, aren't you?
I am.
The only one I've ever gotten into was Ocarina of Time, but that's when I was a kid. And now I'm playing the 3DS version, and that's mainly just because of nostalgia.
Nostalgia?
Nostalgia.
I want to go back a little bit because obviously Ocarina of Time is the first Zelda game we both played.
Yeah.
Like, why did I continue to like the games and you just fell out of love with it? You know.
I mean, I don't think I was really a huge fan when I used to play it. I mean, it's a game that it's a really challenging game that doesn't sort of tell you where to go. It's not like one of those RPGs that gives you a quest list and tells you where to go, does it? You just got to sort of know where to go. You really got to read what people are saying and take the hints. It's a lot of hint finding and everything, and it's challenging that way. And then, I mean, as kids, we got pretty far as kids, to be honest. Like,
no, we didn't.
Well, no, we didn't.
absolutely
But
didn't.
when I replayed it, I'm thinking, how did we get this far as kids?
Sure. Okay.
You know.
I guess what you're saying about it's not a typical RPG. That's a pro for me. That this is the only kind of style game you can get like that. Like it's an RPG, but it's not in the classic formula. You know? Like you were saying, you don't have a quest list. You don't to find out information of things. You have to talk to every single person. You have to dig out through all the things, and I love that because you just can't hit the menu and look at your log or go
There's
here
no
and do
marker
that.
of where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's both frustrating and just so rewarding at the same time.
So is that a reason why Zelda is this?
Sure, because it's a entirely unique gameplay formula that has evolved and both evolved and stayed current.
And is that something that might be lost in the new Zelda because they're trying to westernize it?
Yeah, I'm actually afraid of that a little bit, to be honest, because they keep using these buzzwords like westernizing and open world.
See, I think there's going to be a quest list and there's going to be a map and then pinpoints of where to go.
If that actually happens, that would make me really upset.
Yeah.
And then this is me doing the whole Pokemon thing. Like, there are people, like I was saying, there are people out there who would be upset if big things like that change in Pokemon. If something like that changed in Zelda, I'd be that upset person.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I guess another thing is it's able to tell a really, really good story, even if it's, like people saying, even if it tells the same story over and over again. It tells a really good story without any voice acting.
Yeah.
That's something a game nowadays can't do.
Which
really.
is something that's probably going to go as well.
Again, I'll be upset.
All these little things that we're talking about, what makes Zelda so good, these things might be going. Because that's what people have sort of been asking for to evolve as well. I mean, in the end, I think people are going to be disappointed if these things change. They don't know what they're asking for, really.
Look, it's true that Zelda just can't stay the way it is forever and ever. It has to keep evolving with the way games are evolving too. And maybe it's a bit maybe it's past its time now. With games like Fallout 4 and The Witcher, like flooding the RPG market.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to keep up with them now. But
because realistically, could you release another game very similar to Skyward Sword to compete with modern day RPGs?
No. I can't really understand the hatred towards Skyward Sword. I don't know where.
Well, I'm just talking about Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess. Those
Okay.
types of Zelda games
Sure.
where there is no quest list. It's very, it's not. It's. I wouldn't say it's very open world. The world isn't that big, is it?
No, and it's segmented off.
Yeah, it's
between learning
segmented.
experience.
I mean,
and whatever.
could that compete with those types of these new types of RPGs?
It's split because Nintendo obviously trying to appeal to everyone. Zelda being one of their benchmark franchises, they want everyone to play it. But because because how unique Zelda is, and because of how much time it is between each Zelda installment, there isn't any other games to kind of fill in the gaps of that gameplay style. So filling in those gaps between Zelda games are these Western RPGs, Fallout, The Witcher, Skyrim, etc. So kids, I'm gonna say younger audiences here. Kids are getting accustomed to that, So if they were to pick up a Zelda game, be it their first Zelda game, and see it that it's completely flipped upside down the way they see RPGs, they I don't think they would like it, and it'd be a really hard barrier to break. Whereas I think with us, because RPGs like that didn't exist, we grew up with the Zelda formula, and then were brought in by the Western RPGs. It's that we can have the best of both worlds for us, but people going into games now don't have that anymore. They're just, and that is due to the lack of the failing Nintendo consoles for sure.
Yeah.
Even though Nintendo are trying their hardest to revitalize the old classic Zeldas, which they've done a really good job of, and
It really pisses me off how people put this what's it called? The Zelda A Link Between Worlds on this whole new level of gaming. All you hear on IGN is it's the best Nintendo game ever made. It's a remake of an old game. It's got the same map. How can it be the number one 3DS game of all time? It's just a remake.
I think you know why is because the people who were reviewing that game thought A Link Between Worlds. No, what was it? A Link to the Past.
No, it was A Link Between Worlds. A Link to the Past was the original.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so they grew up with Link to the Past.
Exactly.
And then so they're reviewing it. These older folks are reviewing, saying, "Oh, this was the greatest because this is my childhood redone."
It's so stupid.
So I can see where you're coming from too, but in the typical 3D Zelda games, it's got this. It's on a pedestal for sure. It's got this. I don't know. I can't. It's got this royalty to it, like the hype for this new Zelda game is massive, but you're interested in it though, aren't you? You can see picking up, right?
Well, if I'm going to get an NX, it's hard to say because we've seen nothing of it.
Sure.
But I probably will get the new Zelda just because it is one of the most hyped games of all time.
Is it that? Is it like I've been saying? Like you just can't get to grips with the way the game is played out? Are you too challenged by it and you just can't progress anymore? Is that why you haven't been...
I think I've just had bad experiences. I don't know. Every time I pick up a Zelda game, I just don't really have fun. One of the worst experiences was A Link Between Worlds because it was so hyped, especially from IGN, and this is why I don't watch IGN anymore. They just hyped A Link Between Worlds up so much when it wasn't that great. Was it that great?
I liked it, not as much as they did.
It was just a boring game.
I don't know.
It was just a boring game.
All right.
I really prefer the more 3D type Zelda games, the more serious ones like Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, and all that.
If Ocarina of Time hadn't came out when it did, and if it hadn't revolutionized the way 3D gaming was made, I don't think Zelda would have the impact that it would have today. Of course,
yeah.
It's just that Ocarina of Time came out and made a huge impact on everyone. And then, I suppose the follow-up, Majora's Mask, kind of solidified itself as a cult classic.
Yeah.
Because that game is beloved by... I don't love Majora's Mask, because I think you had to grow up with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Playing it now is just so foreign to me.
I wish we got it when we were younger.
Yeah. But even games like I keep saying Twilight Princess is in my top 5 games of all time, and then that's because I grew up with it. I grew up with it just later in my life.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to say if I were to pick up Twilight Princess HD new, if I were to come brand new into it, it'd be difficult for me to comment on it, of how much I would actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm basing my love of the game a lot on nostalgia. So I don't know. And it's been years since I played a brand new 3D Zelda game.
Yeah, it has.
And a lot of people
That's why it's hyped so much.
Yeah. So...
That's why it's scary that it might change a lot.
See, even you're saying you're afraid of the changes. Are you afraid of how people are going to react to the changes.
No, I am afraid of the changes because I don't know, all the things I asked you a question, what's so good about Zelda? All the things that you told me what makes Zelda so great, they could change.
That's why I love it. Nintendo is known to be so unique and so different and so left the field of all these other developers, and they have.
I assume if Zelda does sort of change its formula, it's not going to be what we think it is. It's not going to be this Skyrim type game. It's going to be quite different, I think.
Yeah,
Nintendo are different.
Yeah, for sure.
The Japanese think differently than we do. They've got some ideas up their sleeves.
I hope so, because some of the buzzwords have been the very few buzzwords they've been saying. The footage of this game is good. It's definitely going to expand the Zelda formula, but in different ways that we're not expecting, which I'm both hesitant and really excited for.
Well, I mean, the graphics sort of look more like what's it called? What's the remake on Wii U called?
Wind Waker.
It sort of looks more like that. The graphics very cartoony, rather than those serious Zelda graphics.
I think it's continuing with what Skyward Sword looks like.
Oh, really?
It's a bit of a mesh between cartoony and realistic.
Yeah.
And they're just amping up the stylistic of it, which I don't know. People haven't really commented much on the graphics.
Yeah,
that's been the least thing they've been talking.
It's probably because it was such an early build that we saw the trailer on. Who knows what it looks like now?
Sure.
Who knows?
I mean, well, one thing we haven't talked about is the previous episode. Have we talked about the lack of E3 from Nintendo? Was that our last episode?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think more news is coming out now. I think in that episode I said I was getting angry because everyone thought that Nintendo were actually going to have a Direct and they were just going to show Zelda, but they didn't confirm that. It has been confirmed now that there's going to be no Direct, just like a Nintendo Treehouse live stream event of just Zelda.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm disappointed about that.
Nothing to look forward to now.
I guess so. One thing that has come up is that, like we were saying with Pokemon, we like the scarcity of information they're giving us. Pokemon has always been very good at that. Is this going to be too much of an information drop with Zelda? Are we going to find out too much about it before going into the game?
Well, probably.
Yeah. I mean, look at how everyone compares E3 reveals to now Fallout 4. Because apparently that was... I still think it's a really great reveal, but at the same time, in hindsight, I think they revealed too much about it.
Yeah, it was quite a big chunk of the game.
Yeah. So I'm kind of feeling like they'll give everything away.
No, they'll be smart about it. They won't give too much away. Oh, we just want to see gameplay. That's all everyone wants to see. Just 2 minutes of gameplay, please.
Just 2 minutes?
I don't know. That's all you need.
That's all... That's... Yeah. Either way.
How funny is it that the launch of Wii U, they showed a trailer of a Zelda game?
Wasn't that just like a tech demo to show graphics?
Yeah. But it was Zelda. There's still no Zelda game for Wii U.
That is funny. You have to admit, though, that trailer still looks great.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. Why didn't they just build something like that?
Oh, man. Because I remember that trailer. It uses the realistic Twilight Princess kind of graphics.
It does. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's been many years, but we'll get something.
Yeah.
One of the last things, or the last thing I wanted to talk about was to end with Nintendo, as we started with Nintendo. When the NX does come out, I'm thinking it's going to be a console.
Mm-hmm.
What would you think if Nintendo just released a new handheld? It wasn't even a console. So this March release is just the handheld.
I'd be really disappointed in that. Because 3DS isn't done yet. 3DS is far from done.
Yeah, true.
They're putting out a Pokemon game in November.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to release a new handheld in March now. No way.
Eventually, would you want them to release a new handheld?
For sure. 2 years, maybe?
I think it needs to wait 2 years, yeah.
Because like we were saying before, like, maybe Japan's ready for a new handheld.
Yeah.
But with us, in Europe, we're not.
All the handhelds that they release are all backwards compatible as well. So you will be able to play all 3DS games if they do release a new handheld. I just paused there for a second because I was thinking maybe it's only new 3DS games that they will play. But that's just Xenoblade, so...
How would they go about with the 3D then, with backwards compatibility? Would they just remove that entirely, the 3D function?
Well, unless the new handheld has 3D.
No, they can't. That'd be too gimmicky now, I guess.
No, it wouldn't. They've spent a lot of money on that 3D technology. With the new 3DS, they got it right as well.
Yeah.
And they could probably get it even just a little bit better with a few tweaks. It's pretty good. I mean, you don't have to wear glasses for 3D. The original 3DS did not work, to be honest. You had to put your 3DS very still. You couldn't move it at all. Just no one played with the 3D on. With this new 3DS, you can.
I do it. I forget I have it on sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's pretty incredible. I still say one of the best uses of 3D is... I want to say it was a launch title for 3DS. It was Star Fox 64 3D.
Or Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
I mean 3D Land.
Yeah. Awesome use of 3D. And they were pretty much launch titles, if not close to launch.
Could you play Super Mario 3D World in 3D with the 3D TV?
You mean the one on Wii U?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
That's stupid.
Think any Nintendo games use the console games use 3D.
That's weird, isn't it? Because their whole handheld is based on the 3D effect.
Yeah.
And none of their games support 3D on Wii U.
Oh no, that's a difference I think they had to split. You know? How remember the big fad of games coming in 3D? Like Xbox 360 games coming in, that only lasted a couple of months, I think.
Well, you've got to get it right.
Nintendo got it right.
Nintendo did get it right. After a while.
Yeah.
Well, imagine if the new 3DS was released in 2011 instead of the original 3DS. I mean, that would have blew minds.
Was Nintendo 3DS in 2011?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. What did you think earlier?
I thought it was like 2009.
No, it was 2011.
Oh. Yeah, it blew minds anyway. The original 3DS. But,
yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. It would have just... Yeah, it would have just been awesome.
This new 3DS is just, I don't know. I love my new 3DS. It's just the best console ever.
Okay.
We're fanboys.
Yeah, I suppose we have to wrap
Nintendo.
up. We're just repeating ourselves now.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, yeah, well, short episode, short but sweet. I don't know if we'll be back next week as soon as my room's set up, pretty much. Studio 411.
Unless breaking news.
Unless breaking news happens. I don't think I'm expecting anything,
No.
though.
Well, actually, just quickly, I want to talk about Battleborn. Because I've been playing...
Yeah, that's right, yeah, I wanted to speak about this as well.
I'm not having fun with it. I'm way more frustrated at the game.
When did you buy it?
Probably about this time last week. I've only sunk about 5 hours into it.
Could have returned it for full refund.
Well, I mean, I got it for free anyway. I traded it in the phone.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So I don't think that would have counted. Either way, I just... I was really excited for it because I'm a big fan of Borderlands. I love the way that game feels as a first-person shooter. And this game is made by Gearbox, the same people who make Borderlands. So I was really excited, but I've yet to break... With every multiplayer game, you have that period of you trying to come to terms with the controls and the characters and the gameplay, essentially. That's usually a 3 or 5 hour buffer. I'm past that, and I'm still having the most... I'm not having any fun. I'm not having any fun with it because there's so many characters to get your head around. Each character is so entirely different that it just doesn't give me enough time to build up my skills with that character. Another frustrating thing, you can't... Because it's broken up into 5 against 5, the teams, in multiplayer. People can't play as the same character on the same team. So I've pretty much picked my favorite character that I'm good at using, or decent at using, that playing with. Everyone, as soon as you load into the map, everyone just runs towards that, picks that character straight away. And only one person gets it. So once that character's chosen, I'm left with this bunch of characters that I'll just die instantly with. I find that so frustrating because you basically need to have 3 main characters that you need to be good with because everyone else is going to choose all the other characters.
You know, I can't even picture it in my head. I actually haven't even seen gameplay of Battleborn.
I'm sure.
I've seen nothing of it.
I'm sure you'd probably recognize it maybe if you did see it.
But so it's not good.
I'm not having any fun with it. I'm having the opposite effect that I thought I would have with it.
Oh, you haven't had much luck with new games lately. Plants vs Zombies, you went for that.
Hated
like
that.
It.
Hated
Battleborn,
that.
don't like it.
Well, these are just these multiplayer focused games.
Yeah,
I hate that.
You're trying to get into the multiplayer world.
Well, that's all the games they're making these days.
Yeah, I know.
It sucks. And
You like Battlefront though. You got into that.
Love Battlefront, and I turned off Battleborn in frustration to go back into Battlefront. I was in a multiplayer mood, and I had way more fun with that.
Yeah.
But another annoying thing, I boot up the game. Obviously, you have to download this 8 GB patch or whatever day one. The first thing that pops up when you open the game is this message board saying like, "Hey, DLC coming this time. Won't you pre-order?" The first thing you see is to pre-buy DLC. That's so annoying. I haven't even played the game yet, and you tell me to buy extra content for it. No. So,
you vented. You good?
Yeah, I haven't given the campaign enough of a run. Maybe that's what's gonna pull me into it.
Try the campaign.
Yeah, I just
have you. And so you've pre-ordered Doom as well, not Dawn.
Doom comes out on Friday. The more and more I see of this game, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah,
I actually saw some footage
maybe that's the multiplayer game that you'll get into.
Hopefully, because that seems like a level playing field.
Yeah.
Whereas Battleborn is just you have. Ugh. I saw some footage of Doom. Actually, someone took it on their camera phone and filming like a conference or something. Yeah. Someone was playing Doom on this new PC chip, graphics chip or whatever, that was playing the game and it got up to 2,000 frames per second. They like unlocked. They were playing like 60 frames per second, even then it looked incredible. And they're like, okay, we're going to unlock the frame rate, and it's got the number in the corner, and it just boots straight up to like 1,500.
Oh my god!
To be honest, I didn't notice the difference.
You probably wouldn't.
No,
60 frames already looks bloody good. So.
Yeah, but it just felt Doom
looks crisper,
and it just felt like way quicker.
Yeah,
like Doom already seems like real fast paced, really rapid.
I mean, how many frames per second can your eyes see?
That's a big conversation actually that I hear all the time on podcasts.
It's probably less than 2,000.
Yeah, I feel like 60 or around.
Yeah, so that's probably why it didn't look different. Our eyes can't see that.
Yeah,
much.
The whole frame rate, argument just baffles me anyway.
Yeah.
Again, people don't buy games because it runs in 30 frames per second. How dumb are that?
That's ridiculous.
So either way, I'm really excited.
It's like people, it runs 30 frames per second, that's crap. I'm going to go play some Super Mario 64.
Yeah, or just like 12 frames a second. Either way, I'm more excited for Doom. That'll probably take over Battleborn. If Battleborn doesn't stick with me in the next couple of days, I'm going to trade it back in for Fire Emblem towards the end of the month.
Oh, yeah. So,
that's it. Don't you think, like, you've traded in games quicker than I have than Battleborn, right?
Yeah. So I've traded in games so I can get my full refund, so within the week.
Sure.
Story of Seasons and Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Those are my two. So
I just feel like I haven't given the game enough. Every time I boot it up, I think, oh god, here we go. But I know there's a barrier you have to get over, and this barrier is just way steeper than usual games. And I wasn't expecting that at all.
Games are supposed to be fun.
I know, and I'm not having any fun with it. Oh well. That's all I want to say.
Well, when does Dead Island come out? That's soon, pretty soon. I think that's next week.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure it's really soon. So, be prepared for that.
Okay. Cool.
All right, that concludes our episode. Don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back very soon. E3 conversations are starting up soon as well.
Yeah.
going to cover all that. I mean, what are our plans for when E3 actually comes on? You know, I've got work during the week, and it's like on a Sunday night or a Monday night. So.
Oh, true. Yeah. What happened last year? You weren't working last year, were you?
No, not during that time.
Wow. Well, I guess I'll have to champion that then.
I don't know if I'll stay up for it, to be honest.
Mm.
It starts at like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I can't pull an all-nighter like last year.
That Xbox One was a bit of a... Because it goes Microsoft to Sony then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stretch.
And all the others.
Oh.
Bethesda's always during the day.
I remember Bethesda... No, hang on. I remember Bethesda being at like 1 p.m. our time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same as well.
Okay, and I always remember Sony always being 10 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
It's always Xbox that's around like 3 or 4 a.m.
God damn it.
That's
the one I want to see as well.
Yeah. Either way, you know what's weird? I want to actually go back if I have some spare time and watch or like quickly run through the press conferences they had of last year's E3. See some of the games that they've kind of like swept under the rug that you haven't heard anything about since that E3. One of them has been like South Park. Haven't heard anything, and it's already been a year. The Last Guardian.
Probably do that because then you haven't heard anything from that in a whole year. We should probably watch last year's E3 and look at games that were announced, and there'd probably be huge parts of this year's E3.
That's one thing Nintendo did right. Every time they put out a game during E3, they put it was going to come out. They were going to talk about it again in 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Nintendo was so good about that. Whereas Xbox, like Microsoft, that game Recore, you just saw some dumb trailer. No one's talked about it ever since. And they probably said like holiday 2016.
Yeah.
Like, of course it's going to be pushed back to like mid 2017.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Anyway.
Well, find us on YouTube. We've changed our YouTube name. We're literally just the 411 folks now. So type in the 411 folks and we'll come up, as well as a video of Mo doing his dance.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Every time you type in the 411 folks, he's always the first one that comes up. Most is like doing that dance, and then followed by a bunch of our videos.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad to be put on the same length as Mo.
Yeah. So watch his video as well, and watch us. This was episode 11, and Jacob's
as always.